Good morning, everyone. Today, we will travel back in time to explore the beginnings of one of the most elegant and useful writing instruments ever invented, the fountain pen. Although we may now live in a digital world dominated by keyboards and touchscreens, the fountain pen remains a symbol of creativity, sophistication, and craftsmanship. Its story is filled with centuries of experimentation, innovation, and even a little frustration. Let us trace the journey from primitive tools for writing to the refined fountain pen we know today. Writing has always been at the center of civilization. Long before the fountain pen existed, people used reeds, quills, and brushes to record their thoughts. In ancient Egypt, scribes used red pens to write on papyrus. These reeds had to be dipped constantly into ink. Later, in medieval Europe, the goose quill became the most popular writing instrument. Quills were flexible and elegant, but they wore out quickly, and like reeds, they needed to be dipped into an inkwell every few words. For centuries, this dipping process was seen as a normal part of writing. But as literacy grew and record-keeping expanded, inventors began to dream of a tool that could store ink inside itself and deliver it smoothly to the paper. The earliest attempts to create a pen with an internal ink supply can be traced back to the 10th century. According to historical records, the Fatimid Caliph of Egypt, Al-Mu'izz Lidin Allah, requested a pen that would not stain his hands or clothes. Craftsmen are said to have created a rudimentary pen that held ink inside and fed it to the nib. However, we know little about its exact design, and no surviving examples exist. Centuries later, in 1636, a German inventor named Daniel Schwenter described a pen made from two quills, one serving as a reservoir for ink. The ink flowed slowly to the writing tip, though control remained poor. These early designs showed that the idea was possible, but technical problems stood in the way. Ink flow was irregular, pens leaked, and they were messy to use. The true fountain pen era began in the 19th century during a period of rapid industrial and scientific progress. New materials such as hard rubber and improved metals made it possible to manufacture more reliable pens. In 1809, Frederick Falsch in England patented a design for a pen with an ink reservoir. Others followed, but these pens often leaked and frustrated writers. The biggest problem was controlling the steady flow of ink from the reservoir to the nib. A turning point came with the invention of the iridium-tipped gold nib. Gold provided flexibility, while iridium, a hard metal, gave durability. This innovation allowed the nib to last much longer without wearing down. One of the most famous figures in fountain pen history is Lewis Waterman, an American insurance salesman. In 1884, he patented a pen with a clever feed system that regulated the flow of ink using air pressure. Waterman's design solved one of the greatest challenges, preventing blotches and leaks. Waterman's pen was reliable, practical, and commercially successful. He marketed it as the ideal pen, and it quickly gained popularity. His company, the Waterman Pen Company, became one of the leading manufacturers of fountain pens and helped establish the pen as a daily writing tool. After Waterman's success, other inventors and companies rushed to improve fountain pens. George Parker, another American innovator, founded the Parker Pen Company in 1888. He focused on creating pens with even more reliable ink flow. Swan, a British company, became famous for its elegant designs. In Germany, companies like Montblanc and Pelikan emerged in the early 20th century, bringing craftsmanship and luxury to fountain pens. By the early 1900s, fountain pens had become a worldwide phenomenon. They were no longer experimental gadgets, but everyday tools found in schools, offices, and homes. Fountain pens continued to evolve with many clever inventions. Self-filling mechanisms replaced the need to use an eyedropper. Systems like the leva filler, button filler, and piston filler made refilling much easier. Improved feeds ensured a smoother ink supply. Mass production lowered costs, making fountain pens affordable for the average person. By the 1920s and 1930s, fountain pens were both practical tools and fashionable accessories. Companies offered them in colorful plastics, sleek designs, and luxury editions. In the mid-20th century, the invention of the ballpoint pen by Laszlo Biro revolutionized writing once again. Ballpoints were cheaper, more durable, and required less maintenance. As a result, fountain pens declined sharply in everyday use. However, fountain pens never disappeared. Instead, they transformed into symbols of elegance, tradition, and personal expression. Today, they are cherished by collectors, calligraphers, and anyone who enjoys the tactile pleasure of writing. Luxury brands like Montblanc, Pelican, and Parker continue to thrive. While affordable modern fountain pens are used by students and enthusiasts around the world, the fountain pen was more than just a writing tool. It was a cultural milestone. Encouraged literacy and education by making writing more convenient, supported business and administration, helping societies become more organized, inspired creativity in art and literature, as many great works were written with fountain pens. Represented status and style, especially when crafted from gold, silver, or precious materials. The story of the fountain pen is a story of human ingenuity. From ancient red pens to the quill, from messy prototypes to Lewis Waterman's breakthrough design, the fountain pen emerged as a triumph of engineering and artistry. Though ballpoints and computers dominate writing today, the fountain pen remains a beloved instrument, a reminder that even in our fast digital age, the beauty of ink on paper still holds timeless power. Thank you for listening.